What's good, YouTube? Once again, it's the one and only OG Hollywood coming at you with another edition of the one and only Ferguson Chronicle, where we bring it live from the day room to the living room to the streets. Like you all know, I did time in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I was on 3 units, served 25 years of my life in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Met a lot of guys during my duration in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And today is no different. Today I bring the studio individual by the name of K-Day. Me and K-Day did time in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and he's here to tell his story. So without further ado, let's tap in with him, please. What's up, cuz?
What's going on, Wood?
Oh, man, like I was telling the viewers, man, I just want to bring you in, man, let you tell your story in time spent in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice just as well as I do everybody else, man. So once again, welcome to the show, man. Go ahead and tell the viewers where you're from, a little bit about you and what led you to prison.
Oh yeah, man. I'm really from Louisiana, but I always been back and forth from Dallas all my life. You know, I come out of North Dallas, Fair Oaks, Park Lane, Skidman. Uh, I had a robbery that went bad. That was sent me to penitentiary. I did 14 years and 5 months on a 15-year sentence, and I'm out here trying to make things, happen for me and mine on a positive level.
So let me ask this, man. So, what unit did you arrive on first, man? And if you was on several units, go ahead and give those units, man. But what I want to know is what unit played a major role in your life and you turning around. So, like I said, go ahead and tell what unit you arrived on first.
First, I hit Robinson for a few months. Then I went on bench one. I came back. I went to Smith Unit. I started off on Smith Unit, really. I did a few years on Smith Unit. And turned around on Smith Unit. We had a racial riot. They just started shipping individuals. That's how I ended up on Ferguson Unit. I came to Ferguson Unit like late 2000. And I did about 5.5 years on Ferguson before I was
So,
shipped to Cofield.
so let's get back to the Smith unit, man. Go ahead and explain to us, man, if you can remember, uh, what happened during that ride on the Smith unit and how did it affect you?
Oh, it definitely affected me because it was a wide open unit. And it was real dangerous. What I mean by dangerous, it was just free for all. You could just move around freely. The guards was kind of laid back, or some might say too laid back. So, you had to keep your head on the swivel at all times. And you had different groups of individuals from gang members and things of that nature. And it had a racial riot jumped off where it was just blacks against Hispanics. So it wasn't no such thing as I wasn't down with this, I'm not down with that. Either if you black, you had to get it on. If you was Hispanic, you had to get it on. And it was just real. It was on a dangerous level, And then for you to see it probably happened around 4 o'clock. It didn't get under control until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And you in a prison system, and you got the warden, the majors running. They got shotguns, and they had to bring the National Guard in. And that was a scary moment for me because that was my first time, coming in contact with something like that.
So, if I'm not mistaken, you said you was on Cofield too, right?
Yeah, I left Ferguson. When I left Ferguson in I think '06, I went to Cofield.
Okay, so we're gonna take the units in order. So, what was going through your mind when you arrived at the back gate on the Ferguson unit?
Oh, you already heard them stories. You got to get on that flow with the Ferguson unit. But I was kind of already aware of it, and I ain't have a problem with it. And you hear them stories about the Ferguson unit. But when I came to Ferguson unit, it had an individual. I think he was out of Houston named Milt. He was like, bro, You got to be careful over here. Watch out for Murray. He was a gang intelligent. You know, I guess he checked me out. He looked me at whatever. And like, when I hit Ferguson, though, just so happened they was on lockdown. When they came off lockdown, I was on A wing, but they was on lockdown. So when I at the end of the time, when I went to, I think, J wing for a little period of time, then I ended up on G wing, and it was going down on G wing for the most part.
So let me ask
You
this,
know.
man. So I know you say you was an SSI, right?
Oh yeah.
So you never had the privilege of going to the field on the Ferguson unit, right?
Oh, I was in the fields when I was on G wing. Yeah, I was in the fields.
Okay,
I was
so
definitely in the fields.
let's talk about the time out there in the fields, right? Uh, how did that play out for you, being in those fields?
See, the thing about the fields, I was already had been to the fields, and and I look at the fields. That was the first time I met Suge at one point in time back in '98 on Militant Unit. We was in the fields, but I already had been to the fields, and I was one of them individuals. The field was cool because I like to gamble, and I know sports. You ain't going to the fields on the weekend, so that was a plus for me, and eliminate some of the bullcorn that was going on with certain individuals. You had to get your own cut. You know, I already had picked a little cotton. I already had picked, different types of vegetables, and the fields was different, man. You see them people on them horses and things of that nature, man, with them guns. Some of them telling you can't kill a snake. You see a snake, it was different. You see people falling out. You see people breaking. They can't handle the labor, the work.
So let me ask this. So what was K-Day's biggest memory in the field? What can you remember
Mm.
about the fields in your mind in 2022?
Man, this remind me of some real live shit you see on TV. It's slavery. I'm talking about when they bring a water wagon up for you to get some water. It's like 5 or 6 of y'all, 2 or 3 y'all on each side of this water wagon. It was just, man, that was crazy to me. You got to drink water out your hands on a wagon, man. And
So
it's hot.
so you was down there in the era where you went both halves, right?
I caught the end of that.
So how did you adjust to going out in 100-degree weather, working in the field both halves?
Oh, it was different. You 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 wouldn't imagine seeing yourself having to go through that from coming from the streets and dibbing and dabbing and whatever. You like, man, I'm out here in the field, I'm going out both halves, and I'm not even getting paid. They're not even paying us, you know. And that was the crazy part. You're not even getting paid. You getting that cut. You picking them vegetables. And it was crazy because you got to pick these vegetables, then you got to come right back in and eat them vegetables.
So now let's talk about the privilege of being an SSI. What were some of the privileges of being an SSI, as we call that broom in your hand? What were some of the privileges?
Or you get to move around. You get to you're gonna get your hustle. A lot of times you ain't even trying to hustle. You're gonna hustle when you got that broom in your hand. It ain't no doubt about it. It's gonna come to you. It's definitely one of the perks of having that broom. When you get that SSI job, it's all types of ways to get it. Whether you trying to get some cash, you trying to just put some commissary, you get to holler at your people. That broom is something real. That's one of the best jobs to have.
So let me ask this, man. So uh during your time as Texas Department of Criminal Justice, man, I always like to ask this question, man, because I like to think a man that did a lot of time in prison will somewhat find himself rehabilitating through the programs they offer, right? Which is, whether it be school, vocational courses, or anything of that nature. So during your time now, did you take advantage of any of those programs?
Yeah, I got a couple trades. I got my GED down there. I took advantage of that. And sometimes, you're gonna get that school just to get out them fields. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to put in for that school to get out them fields. And that was one of the things. But I got my GED. I got some trades up under my belt.
So during your time in Texas Department of Criminal Justice, did you lose any loved ones in your family?
Yeah, I lost my grandmother. I lost my grandfather. I lost my cousin. I lost my grandmother in 2005, 3 days before my birthday. I lost my cousin on my birthday in 2008. And my grandfather kind of hit me real, real different because he always used to tell my mom, "Hey, I can't wait till my grandson get home. I want to be with my grandson," because he kept saying that he wanted to go where my grandmother was. And then for the most part, I had made parole. They had gave me an FI. When they gave me the FI, they played with my release date, and my grandfather ended up passing right before I got out.
So speaking of FI, right? Me and you know what an FI is because we both been incarcerated. But for anybody that's watching this video, they might be a little thrown off as
It's
far
a
as what an
it's
FI means.
a FI is a release date. You get FI ones, FI twos, FI three. I had an FI three, so I had to do a 90-day program. And once I complete the 90-day program, I'm supposed to be released. Just so happened I completed my program, and they supposed to go out and check my address, and they lied about it for whatever reason. They had to lie about it, and once they did that, they set me back like a month from my release date, and my grandfather passed within that month of me being set back. I had an FI three, and I did 90 days. Supposed to did 90 more days, and I supposed to been released. And it didn't happen like that. So that's why I say, you can go when you're in prison, you can do what you want to do, how you want to do it, but you're not gonna leave until they're ready for you to leave, or they allow you to leave.
So from a mental standpoint, when that happened to you, how did you continue to move forward?
Oh, it bothered me for a long time. I had a little anger in me, but I knew I had a release date. Had a couple guys who like, "Man, go on ahead and finish your sentence, man. You don't want to be on a parole." I was like, "Man, I'm finna get the hell up out of here, man. First thing smoking, you feel me? They done gave me an FI. I'm gone. I done did my time, man. I'm gone. I ain't finna discharge."
So let me ask this, man. So go ahead and explain to the viewers once again what was the total time that you spent in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
I did 14 years and 5 months on a 15-year sentence.
Okay, so now, what was it like for K-Cuz interactions with the officers, male and female?
Uh, I kind of learned the game for as with the male officers. Some of them, they had a chip on their shoulder, but you had to play the finesse game with them. Yes sir, no sir, because you kind of get outnumbered. You can fight a correction officer, but at the end of the time, you want your little freedom. So uh, you tell them yes sir, no sir. I ain't really had no bump heads with no not in my time. I didn't really bump heads with no correction officer. I had some disciplinary cases, but it wasn't no real altercation with no male officers. Now the female officers, when I was on Ferguson Unit, they had Miss Harris. She stayed on my trail for some reason. For some reason, I don't know. And then she never wrote me up. She just always used to dig and mess with me about certain things or whatever. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, you know, because she never wrote me up, you know, and I
Yeah.
stayed in that hallway, you know what I'm saying? She just used to jug at me. And she, you know, so I ain't really had no ill feeling like that. Then I had Miss Cooper. I think Miss Cooper, they might have been all cool. Uh, she kind of, I don't know, she put a bug in their ear or whatever, but she kind of got them off my rope. She got Miss Hill and Miss Harris off my rope. Miss Hill was cool though, but Miss Harris, she was on a whole different page for some reason.
So let me ask this, man. So 14 years and some change in Texas Department of Criminal Justice. When you first received the news that you was gonna be released, right? From a mental standpoint, man, how did you feel?
I felt good. I felt good. I feel like it was that time, you know. I was excited. I don't get to see my kids, you know. One of the things that kind of, you know, I had left my youngest son. He was wasn't even 1 year old when I left. Even though my parents kept him in the loophole with me, bringing him to visit me, it made me feel good that I was, you know, I get out, get this chance. I see him graduate, things of that nature. So I was ready. I was ready.
So let me ask this now. It came a time for you to either catch the bus home or for somebody to pick you up, right? Either which way, when you got inside that automobile on the way to the house, describe some of the things that was going through your mind.
Oh man, when I was on that Bluebird, that bus, that was bringing me to Dallas. I was just so excited. I didn't know you had people that was asleep. I was just watching everything. I was looking at both sides. I wanted to see everything. And when I get downtown, man, my family greeted me. They was there waiting on me at the bus station. And it was just all love, man, talking, and I was just happy to see my parents. You know, I was one of the blessed ones because you know people lose their parents while they be down there. I was blessed to just get out and vibe with my mom, my dad, my brother, my nieces. It was a beautiful thing, man. After 14 years and 5 months, for me anyway.
So let's talk about the first day at home once you arrive to your residence, right?
Yeah. Uh, when I first got there, man, I really wanted to get out them clothes. You know, had to give me a good shower in, put some fresh clothes on, give me a home cooked meal. I never forget, man. I love seafood. So my dad, man, he made me some fish, some catfish, some shrimp, green salad, homemade hush puppies. I went down through there, you know, and I just vibe with my family, man.
Now, after sleeping in that TDC bunk for 14 and a half, right? 14 and
Yeah.
5, as we say. What did it feel like to finally wake up in a cushioned bed? What did it finally feel like?
Oh, it felt good. That felt good. Cause one of the things about me, man, I was sleeping on that steel. I didn't even sleep on no mat for like a long period of time. You know, the mats have so many lumps in them. So when I hit that bed, it was just a whole different vibe, man. Wrapping up, just grabbing them pillows, just holding on to them pillows. It was just different. I enjoyed that.
So let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about some of the things you struggle with that first week being out of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and some of the things that was all new to you after 14 years and 5 months.
Uh, things I struggle with, man. Trying to at first I was trying to get to, you know, the adapt, you know, and you know, we all go through the things for the job. And I went seeing my parole officer, the do's and don'ts, and I felt like I shouldn't have had a monitor, but I had a monitor on my leg, and it was just the struggle of trying to adapt You want to do a whole lot. You know, you want to get that field up. You want to get some money. You want to have your own. You feel like I'm free now, and it was just some things I had made a mental note when I was in there what I was gonna do, and I was able to accomplish a few of them things for my driving license, getting a bank account. But it's kind of hard when you ain't just got no. You don't have your own. You want your own spot. You want your own vehicle. And I wasn't fortunate like that, so I was struggling, jobs here and there.
So now, let's talk about this, man. What did it feel like to finally land that first job and to get
Now,
paid?
I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy. I ain't gonna say crazy. It was shocking. But I had this mental note in my mind. I had been gone 14 years and 5 months. I was working for free in TDC, for free. A lot of people don't even know this. My first job, bro, I worked at the Dollar Tree, making minimum wage, man, stocking.
Yeah,
But I was cool with that because I had a mental note in my mind, bro, you done worked all these years for free. At least you getting something. Something else gonna come through. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
yeah,
crawl before you walk.
yeah,
So I kept it in my mind that, well, you gotta take that because you work for free. For free. At least you're working for something. You're getting something out of the deal right now until something else better come through for you.
yeah.
And I went, my little brother, he had a job, dealing with, I wasn't just big on the computers at the time, so I didn't have that knowledge. I went up to speed. So with certain jobs I was looking for, I couldn't get because
Yeah.
the labor. I was down to work. I wanted to work. I didn't have a problem with working. I didn't have no problem with work. But that was my first job working at the Dollar Tree. Then I started dealing with T-shirts. I started slinging T-shirts, and that kind of got me in the door and opened some doors for me, communicating with other people, and and that helped me out a lot.
So let me ask this, man. So since your time being home, let's talk about some of the personal struggles in your life.
Personal struggle, man.
Whether it be financial or whether it be health, it all is up under the same umbrella as personal.
Oh, okay. Man, let me say this. I did 14 years and 5 months. I would have never thought that I would come home and have to deal with an illness because I feel like I was in good shape. So therefore, I thought I had the flu in 2015. I went to the hospital and found out that I had cancer. I fought cancer for 3 years, a little bit over 3 years, going to therapy, and that was a hard pill for me to swallow. You hear about cancer and you see people pass away from it, and it kind of took a toll on me, put me in a space, and it was an eye opener at the same time. And I was like, why me? I done been through did prison time. Why I got to come out here and get cancer? But thanks to the Most High that I overcame that, and that was a kind of a hard pill for me to swallow. But I'm here, and I'm thankful for that, man. I thank God all the time for that. And when this I overcame that in 2017, 2018. I kind of went into a dark space when my oldest son got killed, and it's like you don't want to just, I don't know how you would put it. It put me in a dark space for a long time. Some people think I be acting funny, but I just look at life a little bit different. That bothered me. They put me in depression. I'm to this point now, well, I'm coming back to me. That kind of hit me hard. I wish I had more time with my kids. I wish I could have did more for my kids, but I was made decisions at a young age. Then for me to come home, back, deal with cancer. Then my son ended up getting killed in 2018. That kind of like put me in a space where I didn't want to deal with nobody for a long time, man. For real, for real.
So let me ask this, man. So first of all, man, salute to you, man, for finding a way to fight through all of that, man, because uh, one matter is no bigger than the other. They all equal the same, especially when you're fighting for your life. And let me ask you this, man. So, uh, what are your secrets to staying free after going through all of that?
Your surrounding. That's just one of my things right now. My whereabouts. You never know what the next person got going on. I came home and I'm more of I do the family thing now. My daughter was, into sports. She ran track. She played volleyball. She played basketball. Man, I was in them stands, man. I was there. I was front and center. I didn't care what I had going on. I was there, man, and it made me feel good, because I missed out on my boys, my son activities or whatever. And I was front and center every game, track, volleyball, basketball. I was front and center, and it kept me away from hanging out and doing other things. That was a plus in my life. So I used that to my advantage. I was doing something good. I was making her let her know that, hey, I'm supporting you 100%. I'm here. No matter what I got going on, I'm gonna make time for your sports, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, all that just let me know, it's more to life than just being in the streets every day, just hanging out. I don't club, you know what I'm saying? I don't just hang out. I get together with some guys from time to time, but I'm with my wife, with my kids. Uh, that feel good to me. That's my happy place. When I see them smiling, I'm good with that. I'm good.
So let me ask this, man. So during your 14 years as a change in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, right? Name one thing specifically that you brought back with you from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice from a mental standpoint that you still use to this day and this year in 2022.
For the most part, I used to kind of, let me see, I think before I react. I think before I react. That's where I'm at right now. At one point in time, I just go with my mood. I think before I react. I try to think things through right now because I know where I came from, the pros and cons of life. So I try to think it through, man. I like to think. I like, hey, is it worth it? You know, that's my thing right now. I think I didn't know you was young. You just do whatever you're gonna do. You ain't worried about the consequences or repercussions of it. Being in TDC, man, it made me think, man. It was definitely it's definitely one of my things I do now. I think, man, and I
So let me ask this, man. So uh during your time in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, man, what about some of the work ethics that you brought back with you?
I'm definitely gonna work. I okay. This the thing with me. I don't mind working. I don't mind working. You know, right now at this point in time, I have a job and I go to work every day faithfully without a problem. And they see me and they be like, man, you know, we could depend on this one right here. And TDC did that though, because I keep in my mind frame that I did all them years and I worked for free, whether I was SSI, whether I was in the laundry, whether I was in the fields, it was for free. I'm getting paid now. I'm getting paid. You know, TDC did that.
So let me ask this, man. If it was one thing that you could change about your situation now versus then, what would it be?
One thing I could change about my situation. Man, I really can't say I can change nothing, bro. It was a learning experience, you know. At one point in time, you used to hear those sayings, you ain't gonna live to see 17, you ain't gonna live to see 18, you ain't gonna live to see 21. You either gonna end up, what they say, jail, dead, or something of that nature. I think going to prison was an eye opener for me. I learned a lot. I was around a bunch of guys. I learned a lot. I seen a lot, and it let me know, you know, it's more to life than just being in the streets every day. And that's my thing. I wouldn't change nothing, man, cause I got something out of it. It was a learning experience. It was a lesson, and I learned something from my lesson. You know.
So for anybody that might be going down the same road that you went down, right? What would your advice be to them in order to try to help them turn around and not go to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
I can say honestly, I see it with my own eyes. I don't witness it. You know, I can't knock a person from the life that they chose, but for if you got the youngsters, you got the teenagers, you got your nephews or whatever the case may be. I see guys out here going to work every day, and they living and doing better than so-called street guys. You know, so don't let somebody tell you a 9 to 5 ain't cool. Cause there's guys out here with 9 and 5s that's doing better than the average dope boy. And they enjoying life. They ain't gotta look over their shoulder. The money might be good, but get you a 9 to 5. Ain't nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I see it every day. These nice houses, these same cars that the D boys got. The dude with the 9 to 5 got that same stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Don't let somebody tell you that you gotta be in the streets, you know. And then way social media is right now. Find you a talent. Find you a talent, man. You got some hidden talent. Find your talent. Find something you love to do. You know, surround yourself with some positive homeboys and homegirls and come up with y'all something. Because at the end of the day, you can surround yourself with some positive people. You can get some positive things out of it. Or you can hang with the negative and you don't get the negative out of it. But I'm telling you, when you go down that road, 90% of them partners that you hanging with every day, all day, kicking them with, they ain't gonna be there. They ain't gonna be there, homeboy.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be there. And I know they ain't gonna be there. It's gonna be mama, daddy, or somebody of that nature. The same ones telling you don't do this, they're gonna be the ones holding you down for whatever time that you have to come across and do. So take heed enjoy your freedom, find you something productive to do with your life, and live it to the fullest. So once you get in, it's hard to get out.
So let me ask this, man. So first of all, I'd like to say I appreciate you for coming on, man. Once again, man, I congratulate you for putting yourself back together, man, pulling yourself out of the dark place, man, and moving forward, man, because those are hard pills to swallow, man. If a man don't have it right here from a mental standpoint, can find himself back in that one size fit all, which is the Texas Department of Criminal Justice white suit. That's what I call it, the one size fit all.
One size fit all.
so, anyway, man, like I do with everybody else, man, I always give them a chance to close the show out. They know, salute to whoever they want to salute to, man. Pay homage or respect or whatever you want to call it for those that have been a part of their life, whether they was in or whether they was out. But it's all about being a part of your life during the time you were struggling, because anybody can be there when it's going good for you. But what about when it's going bad? Those are the people that need to be acknowledged. So at this time, man, I'll let you do that.
Man, I just want to, first and foremost, my parents, my little brothers, at this point in time, my wife, my kids, man, they motivate me to continue to move forward and do some righteous things in my life. You know, like I say, if I can make them happy, see them smile, I'm good. You know, that's what it's all about. Because I know who was there for me when I was sitting down during that time. You know, and man, I want to say, man, I want to give a big shout out. I want to tip my hat to everybody who I done did some time with that's out here on their note, taking care of their business, handling business with their plan that they had. Man, I want to, and I'm gonna give a couple of names, but at the end of the day, man, it's mad love from me, man. I got mad love for y'all, man. We ran across them paths, them hallways, them cell blocks, and you out here doing what you supposed to be doing and doing it how you want to do it, and you own it, man, taking care of your business, man. I salute you, man. And I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna say that to my partner T Lee, to my partner Daco. Man, I'm proud of you, man. I see you. Happy late birthday, bro. My boy Dante from Port Arthur, Lil Pac, all of them, man. Suge, hey man, I came across some righteous brothers, man. Lil Ron, oh man, big salute. Terry T from Houston, big salute, man. And continue on, man. I see y'all. Even though we ain't crossed them paths, I see y'all, man.
So let me ask this before you go, man. How important was it that you come to the Ferguson Chronicle, man, to tell your story, and would you recommend the Ferguson Chronicle for anybody that's struggling in their everyday life?
Oh, man. First of all, Wood, you're doing a beautiful thing, man. Because you can see these things on YouTube and they look scripted. This ain't scripted. These individuals that have been there, done that, you know, and they can really give you something, you know, to take heed to, and you're really doing your thing, man. And I appreciate you for having me on here, Wood, man. I'm for real, man. I hope I can reach somebody, you know, grab somebody's attention, man, and take my story, take what I went through, man, and motivate them to be bigger and better in their life, man.
Once again, man, I appreciate you for coming on, man. Like I say, man, even though we might find ourselves in a rut in society every now and then, man, however, it's never to let your past define your present, man. And you're a living witness to that, man, because you're still being positive. Although you had things that happened in your life, man, you still found a way to get back up off the ground, man. So I salute you for that, man. And much love to you, respect to you, your family, man, and anything that you come in contact. Continue to surround yourself with valuable people, man, so valuable things can happen. Once again, real life people, real life story, and you can only get that here at the Ferguson Chronicle, where nothing is ever scripted. Until next time, K-Cuz, man, salute.
Right on. Appreciate you, Wood.
Once again, real life people, real life stories, man, with nothing is scripted at the Ferguson Chronicle, man. As I said a few minutes ago, man, we will struggle in society, but it's not your past that will define you. It's what you do moving forward. Always wake up every day and be a better person than you were the day before. Until we meet again, salute.